say after school. Okay, y'all don't know who I am probably, but some of you do. I'm a true Spartanburger. I'm not an import. But people always say, where's your accent from? Are you from Charleston? I said, no, you don't know anything about Spartanburg. This is an old Spartanburg accent, not even as old as my mother's, which was even worse. And every generation loses some of that, ideal, whatever they have. So, that's the way it is. But the Kennedy Free Library, which this used to be, was given books by my great aunt, Fayssoux Kennedy. Her husband had passed away, and she gave his books, his library, to start this whole thing. And it used to be out on, what street was it on? Thank you, Magnolia Street. It was a big old dark, brick building. We used to go there for story hour on Saturdays and everything. Then they moved it to Pine Street, then they moved it here, so it's had a lot of changes. And now the Kennedy Room is relegated to the research library. So you don't see the Kennedy Library anymore. It's now the little Kennedy Room, but they do a lot of good work with research. Anyway. But that's one thing, And other things are, I'm a Dunbar, and I'm also kin to the Floyds and the Russells and the Kennedys and all these people. I'm double kin to Dunbars and Floyds. Not incest, I said, but double kin. My mother and her sister married first cousins. So Dr. Paul Dunbar was a dentist, and his wife was Miss Lizzie, we call her, Elizabeth Dunbar.
He the one that had a bear?
Elizabeth Floyd, and then what?
Did he have a bear? He the one that had the bear?
Yeah.
He did.
Eventually. Anyway, so Mama and Miss Lizzie are sisters. And my father and the dentist were first cousins. So we're double kin. And when I think you've heard of my grandfather, Mel Floyd, who had Floyd Mortuary, that's my grandfather. Okay, and you've probably heard the bear story. It's somewhere printed somewhere. But some people who were doing maneuvers up in the mountains, they said, what are we going to do with this little bear we found up in the mountains? We have it sort of as a mascot. We want to keep this little bear, but it started growing up. And the war was over. So they said, we'll give it to the mayor. Mayor Floyd, can you take this bear? And he did. He took it and he tied it to Morgan Square. And so they had a little fence around it, and Teddy was shackled to the Morgan Square. And people would come down there and feed it Coca-Colas. That's Spartanburg for Coca-Cola.
Because that's what bears eat. I've seen them on the commercial.
Where's that little bear? Somebody handed the cocoa and the whole thing, just drank it. Well, time came that the bear started growing up and getting a little bit feisty. And so one night, my grandfather went out of town for a mortuary meeting. And Teddy, the bear, chose that night to get loose from his collar. Because, bears' necks are smaller than their heads. So that's kind of a losing proposition to put a collar on a bear. So anyway, he slipped his collar and he was running around marauding the neighborhood. And my grandfather knew something had gone wrong. He just sensed it. So he came home from the meeting to find Teddy roaming through the neighborhood and all these people running after the bear, and getting him exercised and upset. So there was a fellow across the street who always took care of Teddy. He seemed to know how to deal with him. But this particular night, Teddy was enraged and upset and didn't like where he was, and he took a chunk out of the man's leg. I mean, a large chunk. So they had to put Teddy down. And so Mama said she was around when they had to dispatch Teddy, and Teddy cried like a little baby. So that was good news. I loved hearing that.
He was a dentist.
No.
He wasn't a dentist? Well, I was thinking he could have took the teeth out of the bears.
I don't want to. Anyway, so that was the Teddy story. And you'll see that in the library news. Sometimes they'll print stuff about the origin of the library and all that kind of thing. Well, aren't y'all nice to be here?
Oh, God, I was thinking about this old joke, so I better not tell it in here.
Well, you better tell it, because now they want to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, what is it?
We won't get asked back.
That's okay. Anyway, this is Brandon Turner. He is a wonderful guitar player.
But you'll never know, because Fayssoux got a few more stories.
No. Well, I was gonna get Brandon to fire up one, because he and I went to a house concert one time was it Atlanta? I think it was in Atlanta. And so the opening act was Howie the Great. And Howie the Great had a trained bird, a little cockatoo or something like that. And before we started our show, Howie was supposed to go on with the bird. And they had put the cat up in preparation for this to do, but they had not put the dachshund up. That was unfortunate. And Brandon was up at the front, listening, looking at the bird. The bird was standing on it. What was the bird doing?
He was on the microphone and whistling into the, so he could hear himself.
And then he was listening to himself. And all of a sudden, the little bird took a swoop to the back of the room, and the dachshund went. And the little bird's little neck was just bumped like that. And somebody said, well, he's a magician, tell him to get him back. Like they thought it was part of the act. They were afraid that's not the act. So I think Howie the Great took his little bird, and he went, no! And he ran into the back of the room and took a handkerchief and covered the bird and put him in his pocket, and he left. He was, and the guy said, you don't have to do anything. He says, but I've got another gig after this. So anyway, then the guy that hired us to do this house concert turned to me and said, okay, Fayssoux, you go first. What song do you want to play? Well, what do you play after a bird dies? And, my daughter said you should have played Bugler, which is the song of a dog that was killed on the highway. So we played I Can't Wait. Someday we'll roll away the stone we have carried for so long, and all our burdens will be gone. I can't wait. We will find our way to an understanding of all these. No prayer shall be refused. I can't wait. Seems that we have gone too far. Now we don't know where we are. I believe we'll find a guiding star. I can't wait. If faith is the final place where all fears have been erased and the locks have fallen from the gates, I can't wait. Someday we'll roll away the stone we have carried for so long, and all our burdens will be gone. I can't wait. We will find our way to an understanding of all views. No prayer shall be refused. I can't wait. This song we just did is on the CD right over there. So you can take it home with you. And the girl that played mandolin, she's a really young girl and just a fabulous mandolin player. Her name is Sierra Hull, and she's quite a prodigy, and she's on my record. Before I even knew who she was, that's who they put with me, and I'm so thankful because she's wonderful. Now, here we go. This is a song.
Her and the double player, they later got married.
That's right.
You might have had a part in that.
I hope so. Okay, now Brandon doesn't know what we're doing. He's just. I
don't know what I'm doing.
But he catches on real quick, so we don't worry about it. But this next song, "The Race Is On," George Jones sang this thing, and it was written by Don Rollins, and I love the song. I looked it up because I thought, now, it's kind of as if an English teacher would understand, an extended metaphor that compares the protagonist's love life with horse races. So now I want you to count the number of horses that they're calling different things, like Heartache is running in the race. My Tears is running in the race. My Heart's running in the all these different labels they're putting on a horse to show that it's a race and that you're losing.
You ever listen to that Red Fox at the racetrack?
Maybe.
You need to check that one out.
I'm not going to admit it if I
That's
have.
good.
You never know what Brady's going to come up with, so I never know what to say. I have a tune my guitar here, so
We never played this song, have we? I don't think so.
you see what I mean? It's so agreeable when you can't
Make it
hear
up as you go.
We'll mess it up as we go.
Make it up.
We'll mess it up as we go. I've heard it a lot. No, please do. After all
How
that
about
set
the
up.
ladies out there? That's what I'm Oh, I'm sorry, but I've got to put a cape on. We're going to do it in B flat. That adds insult to injury. He's playing a different song, but I know. Oh, that's how it's going to keep looking.
That's B.
Oh. We don't want B, we want B flat. And that might be flatter than flat. This cape, I have to push it down pretty good. Right. Now, so y'all count the horses that are named things and see how many you come up with. It sounded good. I was thinking about it at home. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I feel tears welling up cold and deep inside, like my heart's got a big break. A stab of loneliness sharp and painful I may never shake. You might think I'm taking it hard since you broke it off with a call. Don't wager that I might hide my sorrow. I might lay right down and bawl. Here comes now the race is on. Here comes pride up the backstretch. Heartache going to the inside. My tears are holding back, trying not to fall. My heart's having a running, true love scratch for another sake. The race is on, looks like a heartache, and the winner loses all. One day I ventured in love, never once forgetting what the final result would be. And I live in fear of waking up each morning and finding that you're gone from me. There's an aching pain in my heart for the name of the one that I hated to face. Someone new came out to win her, and I've been second place. Now the race is on, here comes pride up the backstretch, heartache going to the inside. My tears are holding back, try not to fall. My heart's out of the running, true love scratch for another sake. The race is on, looks like heartache, and the winner loses all. The race is on, looks like heartache, and the winner loses all. Count how many horses were. She says 4, she says 5. 4.
What do they win?
Get out of here. Okay, I wrote them down. The ones I've got are pride, heartache, my tears, my heart, true love. And I couldn't figure out if true love scratched for another sake, if another sake could have been another horse, but I figured no. But 5 is my answer. I bet she got it right. Now, wasn't that fun? Okay. I've got 3 little songs that are kind of fast, so if any kids in here want to come up and grab one of these clackers, they can play. Or if you feel like a kid, you can come up and play. If you're not afraid of being pointed at and looked at. But see that thing right down there?
That's a
big like
clacker.
that before. Makes a lot of noise.
Clean copper clappers.
Yep. This is a Living Brothers song. This is kind of a bluegrass department. Did I start going to get my number?
It is
Y'all can sing anytime you know something. Just sing. Born again, free from sin, I'm happy night and day. Makes me shout, there's no doubt, I know I'm born again. Oh, Satan tells me that I own you, thought I got saved, tell me what a fool I am. But when my mind goes back to that old bench where I pray, I know that I've been born again. Oh, many times along the way, my faith has grown weak, and burdens seem to rise on every hand. But when I steal away in prayer, He answers my plea, my every need He understands. Born again, free from sin, I'm happy night and day. Makes me shout, husband was the pride of Atlanta, and they ended up she ended up in a nursing home, and he had to deal with the process, you know. And I wrote it, so I mean, it's got to be good. I don't know if Brad's played it lately. Okay, I'm just going to crank it up because he'll catch up. She right now. She was once the belle of Savannah. He was the pride of Atlanta, GA. His eyes would find her at all the best parties, careless and laughing. She moved away. Wisteria nights of satin and juleps moved all Savannah's beauties along to commitments and family, joys and losses, but one man alone would remember her song. You are my wonder. You are my only one. Those nights and memories all far away now, hidden down deep as a well. The ring that he gave her has seen all the good times, but just like her eyes, there is nothing to tell. You are my wonder. You are my only one. Y'all can sing that if you want to. He sits beside her with white hair gleaming, but her eyes remember thick hair of brown. He comes to see her, and he seems to know that the hands on her clock go the other way round. You are my wonder. You are my only one. Sitting in separate spaces together, sharing the silence and watching the birds. He rocks and hopes that one day she'll see that he is the one who knows all the words. You are my wonder. You are my only one. You are my wonder. You are my only one.
Very nice, Fayssoux. Fayssoux has a few other tunes that have never been recorded, and I think that you should get the students to do like an EP of, four or five tunes there, you know.
I am not busy next Thursday.
That, I mean, wouldn't y'all agree that?
Thank you, Brad. Okay, here's a Mose Allison song. Anybody heard of Mose Allison? He's passed away now, but he was cute, white hair, played all this jazz on the piano, and he wrote this song called My Brain. Y'all can play the clacker on this too. Oh, my cool little cluster, that's my brain. My brain is losing power, my brain. My brain is losing power, my brain. My brain is losing power, 1,200 neurons every hour, my brain. Cool little cluster, that's my brain. My brain is getting pounded, my brain. My brain is getting pounded, my brain. My brain is getting pounded, soon enough I'll be dumbfounded, my brain. Cool little cluster, that's my brain. Oh, my brain, cool little cluster, that's my brain. My brain, cool.